Welcome to the third session of the module 3. So in this session, in the previous session we have discussed about two-stroke petrol engine as well as the two-stroke four-stroke petrol engine. So immediately after that actually we could have find out what is the difference between the two-stroke working conditions and the four-stroke working conditions. So let us discuss it later on. Before that, I just want to discuss the two-stroke and four-stroke diesel engines. Two-stroke and four-stroke petrol engine we have studied. Let us go for the two-stroke and four-stroke diesel engines. But unfortunately, what is happening is, though the two-stroke diesel engines were existing earlier, now it has become an absolute. That means now people are not going for the two-stroke diesel engines because of its own limitations and very low efficiency of that two-stroke diesel engines. So even in your syllabus there is no two-stroke diesel engine as such. So let us go for the four-stroke diesel engine. The working principle remains to be similar, is almost the same compared to the four-stroke working of a petrol engine. Now here, as we can see this, even this four-stroke engine also we will have four different strokes, namely suction stroke, compression stroke, working stroke, and then the exhaust stroke. The appearance, everything looks the same. When it comes to the constructional features, there are only two differences. What you can see it is, in the place of fresh charge, in the place of a fresh charge, where in petrol engine we can see a mixture of petrol and air coming inside the cylinder, whereas here only the air will enter into the engine cylinder, not diesel. Only the air, fresh air will enter into the engine cylinder. That is one observation what you can make it. And as you can see it, there is no spark plug. Spark plug is used only in petrol engines and not in diesel engines. Only the spark plug is being used in petrol engines, not in diesel engines. Whether it may be two-stroke or four-stroke or whatever it may be. Petrol engine means they will use the spark plug. If it is a diesel engine, then they will use the fuel injector. The fuel injector. The fuel injector is something like a syringe-like thing. It provides an atomized diesel. Is it clear? It is something like a sprinkling. It's an atomized. That means it will be almost in a partial vapor state. Is it clear? That is what the use of fuel injectors. So that is being shown here with FI. FI stands for the fuel injector. In petrol engines, we were having the spark plug. SP was there. Now here we have fuel injector. Is that clear? So as we have discussed, even in this petrol engines, let us discuss the same thing over here. Four points for each the strokes. In the suction stroke, what happens? The inlet valve is open and the outlet valve is closed. The fresh air, the only air, will enter into the engine cylinder. It will enter into the engine cylinder. I'm so sorry. Let me go with the first one. The inlet valve is open and the outlet valve is closed. The piston moves from top dead center to the bottom dead center. Piston moves from top dead center to the bottom dead center. During this, what happens? There, a partial vacuum is been created in the engine cylinder, or it creates a suction in the inside cylinder. This is the second point. And the third point, what happens? The fresh air will enter into the engine cylinder through the inlet valve. This is the third stroke. The fourth point is the crankshaft or the flywheel or the crankshaft makes half a revolution. It makes half a revolution. That's 4 points are over. Next, in the second stroke, which is nothing but a compression stroke. In the compression stroke, what happens? Once again, both the inlet and outlet valve will be closed. the first point. Second point, the piston moves from bottom dead center to the top dead center. From bottom to the top dead center. So what happens? The air will be compressed to a very high pressure and temperature. In the petrol engine what happens? The petrol and air mixture will be compressed. Here only the air will be compressed to a very high temperature. It reaches to the so much of maximum pressure and temperature. At this temperature what happens? If you supply the diesel, automatically it will catches the fire and it burns immediately. That is the idea behind that. Okay, let me come back. The third point is the fresh charge or the air which is present in the engine cylinder will be compressed to a very high pressure and temperature. The point to be noted. This is mandatory to mention. At a very high pressure and temperature. Fourth point is the crankshaft or the flywheel makes a half revolution. Half revolution in the suction stroke and half revolution in the compression stroke. So 4 points are over. Now let me talk about the third stroke or the power stroke, or we also call it the working stroke. Okay. Now in the working stroke what happens? The end of the compression stroke is nothing but the beginning of the power stroke. The end of the compression stroke is equal to the beginning of the working stroke. At this stroke what happens? The highly compressed air with a high pressure and temperature is been ignited, is been burnt by injecting the fuel from the fuel injector. An atomized fuel or atomized diesel is been injected, is been sprayed there, so that what happens? A rapid combustion does take place. Is it clear? This is the second important point. Third point, I'm so sorry, actually I have not mentioned, both the inlet and outlet valve will be closed. Is it clear? So because of that what happens? Due to the rapid combustion, it exerts a vertical thrust or a pressure or the force on the piston head, makes the piston to move downwards. That will be the fourth point, making the crankshaft or the flywheel make half a revolution. Is it clear? So this is the third point or a working stroke. The fourth one is once again the inlet valve is closed and the outlet valve is open. Inlet valve is closed and outlet valve is open. First point. The piston moves from bottom dead center to the top dead center. When it moves from bottom dead center to the top dead center, what happens? The waste gases or the burnt gases or the smoke is being sent out of the engine cylinder. This is the third point. Fourth point, the crankshaft or the flywheel makes half revolution. So half revolution in the suction stroke, half revolution in the compression stroke, and then half revolution in the working stroke, and then half revolution in the exhaust stroke makes completely two revolutions or two strokes. I'm sorry, 4 strokes makes two complete revolution of the flywheel or crankshaft. One interesting thing is, instead of the spark plug, in the spark plug it just ignites the spark. Now here we compress this to a very high temperature. It is only because diesel is not so volatile as petrol. If you keep a petrol and the same quantity of petrol and diesel in 2 cups and expose it to the atmosphere, the petrol will always, since it is more volatile, what happens? It has got more tendency to convert that into vapor. It will be vaporized very easily. So even a small spark is sufficient enough to catch it fire and burn. Whereas the diesel engine has got a higher flash and fire point. So what happens? It needs to be compressed to a very high temperature and pressure. That is the reason why we will use a fuel injector. Here the fuel injector is the one beautiful instrument which atomizes. It is not like water. It just atomizes the diesel there. Atomizes the diesel means it is something like it makes the diesel in a vapor state and it just supplies it. So that what happens? It catches fire and burns. One more point, important thing is, in the compression stroke, whether it is a petrol engine or a diesel engine, in the compression stroke, the piston moves from BDC to the TDC. Whatever this is called as a compression ratio. Is that clear? That is nothing but a compression ratio. Maximum volume, total volume by this compressed volume. That is nothing but a compression ratio. Compression ratio for a petrol engine varies from 1:6 to 1:10. That means 6 mm cube or 6 meter cube of fuel and air will be compressed to 1 meter cube. 6 meter cubes, they will compress it to 1 meter cube. That is in petrol engine. In diesel engine, 22 or 18:1 to the 22:1. That means around 20 mm cubes or meter cube mm cubes of fuel or air is been compressed into 1 meter cube. Now, our common sense with a general knowledge tells us, when you have more volume and compressing it to 1 meter cube, and you have a less volume and compressing it to 1 meter cube, in which case the pressure and temperature will be more. Obviously, it is when we compress the more volume into a less volume, the pressure and temperature will be tremendously increases. So that the power that is being generated in the diesel engine is much higher than the power that is being generated in the diesel engine. The efficiency is more. That is first point. And the second point is, in the diesel engine, we have out of 4 strokes, whether it is in the power, whether it is a petrol engine or it may be in a diesel engine. I'm sorry, before that I just want to explain. In the petrol, since we are taking more volume and compressing, we need more compression ratio in diesel engine. When we have more compression ratio in diesel engine, the size of the engine is more in diesel engines. The size of the engine for a diesel and the size of the engine for a petrol, if you compare it, diesel engine, the size is much more compared to the petrol engine, because the compression ratio of the diesel engine is more. That is what. And apart from that, out of 4 strokes, whether it is a petrol or a diesel engine, the working stroke or 4 stroke is of higher importance. Now you could have asked me, I told you, in suction stroke the piston moves from TDC to BDC, in compression stroke it moves from BDC to TDC, even in the working stroke, exhaust stroke, it moves from BDC to the TDC. Where will it get the energy? Do we do it automatically? Do we do it with manually? No. Then how it moves? Where to that energy comes for that is very important. Actually, what happens is, whatever the power that is being generated in the third stroke, the power because of the combustion, it rapidly enters. It pushes this piston so fast downwards that it will be a recurve. It recurs. So whatever the energy that is been required for the suction, compression and exhaust stroke will be supplied by the hero, that is the combustion stroke, or in the working stroke. That is the reason why we also call this third stroke as an actual stroke, or we also call it as the power stroke. Is it clear? Let me talk about this in detail. In a suction stroke, the inlet valve is in the opened condition and the exhaust valve remains closed. The atmospheric air is drawn into the cylinder as the piston moves from TDC to the BDC due to the partial vacuum air that is being sucked inside the cylinder. The compression stroke, in this stroke, what happens? The piston moves from BDC to the TDC. As a result, the air inside the cylinder is being compressed and heated to a very high pressure and temperature. In this stroke, both the valves are closed in conditions. The air temperature is around 800 degrees centigrade. 800 degrees centigrade is a tremendously high temperature, and up to 1000 degrees centigrade also it reaches. At the end of the compression stroke, the fuel injector injects the fuel at a high pressure into the compressed hot air. Thus, the ignition takes place inside the engine cylinder. Now, in the power or an expansion stroke, during this stroke, both the valves are closed in condition. The piston at the TDC is pushed downwards by the expansion of the burnt gases. Due to the sudden combustion, what happens? The expansion of the gases takes place rapidly, makes the piston to move downwards. Therefore, a power stroke is being produced. In the exhaust stroke, in this stroke, the exhaust valve is opened and the inlet valve is in the closed condition. The piston travels from BDC to the TDC and pushed the burned gases out or the smoke out of the cylinder. And here is also called as a scavenging process happen to remove the burnt gases completely. Now, this is what happens in exhaust stroke, as I have already explained you. And I would like to explain one small terminology over here, what we call it as a scavenging. Now, scavenging is nothing but when the gases get burnt, the gases makes the piston to expand. Is it clear? Now, because of the high pressure and the smoke, because of the hotness, what happens? The outlet port or the exhaust port will get opened, and the piston moves from BDC to the TDC. As it is moving, it pushes all the gases or the unburnt gases or the burnt gases, smoke out, it will expel it to outside the atmosphere. So expelling or throwing out of the gases, the burnt gases in the engine cylinder, this process is called scavenging. Scavenging is nothing but taking out of the smoke out of the engine cylinder. It is called as the scavenging process. The PV diagram is an important one actually. It's very interesting. I'll go through one by one. Please be careful. Now, PV diagram of Otto cycle. Here, Otto is a name of scientist who invented the working principle of the engines on this Otto cycle. Basically, PV diagram is nothing but pressure and volume diagram. Now, the area below this curve, whatever you can see, this blue, green, yellow, red, this graph, the area below this graph, this 1, 2, V1, 1, 2, V2 will tell us actual work done by the system. The area under this curve will tell us the actual work done by the system. Is it clear? That is the reason why we have to study this PV diagram. Basically, the petrol engine which works on the basic principle of Otto cycle. All the petrol engines works basically on the principle of Otto cycles. Is it clear? Now, if you can see sketch 1 to 2 is an isentropic process. Isentropic is also called as an adiabatic process. Adiabatic process means what happens? It is nothing but an isentropic process in which what happens, or it is also called as a reversible adiabatic process. Isentropic process is the one wherein which the entropy remains constant. That means to say that or the temperature or the entropy remains same thing and the temperature keep increasing. This is the one. Okay, it is at the pressure P1. You can see this pressure P1 at which what happens, the petrol and air mixture will be taken inside. From 1 to 2 what happens? It is a compression stroke. See, P1 to 1 is a suction stroke. At a constant pressure what happens? The pressure, the air and the petrol mixture will be taken inside the cylinder. That is up to 1. From 1 to 2 it is a compression stroke where the pressure keeps increasing, as you can see it here. Actually the arrow marks is not shown, but still 1 to 2 you can make it out. Now what happens? We will supply the work. That is why we have given it as a W-in. W-in will give rise. That means for compressing we need to supply the work. We need to do the work for that. So what happens? The petrol and air mixture will be compressed. As I have already told you, whenever we compress certain things, what happens to its pressure? It increases. Now can you see this? Pressure has been increased. Is it clear? Now from 2 to 3, now it has been reached at 2. At the end of the compression stroke, what happens? Combustion takes place. Once the combustion takes place, heat adds or heat rejects. Heat will be added. That is why we have shown it with Q in. Q stands for heat. Heat will be added in the process, and this process will show you a heat addition. This is nothing but a working stroke. From 2 to 3, what happens? It is a working stroke, wherein which the heat will be added. The pressure will be so rigorously just increases, so that what happens? The piston moves downwards. So the pressure will be maximum at the end of the working stroke. Is it clear? Now, what happens to the volume? See, when I take the volume inside the suction, it is V1. It is volume is more. When I compressed it, the volume is V2. So at the same volume, because please be careful here. During the working stroke, the inlet and outlet valve are closed. Do you agree? Do you agree? So what is happening? The volume inside the, see, for example, if you have a water bottle, the water bottle is closed. What is happening to the volume? Is it constant or it is out? It is changing. The volume is constant. So this V2, volume V2 is equal to volume V3. That means the volume is going to remain constant. Now you can ask me, sir, even in the compression stroke, the inlet and outlet valves are closed. I do agree, but what is happening? The volume is decreasing and pressure is increasing. The volume, now look at my hands. The volume, as I just move towards like this, the volume is decreasing and the pressure is increased. So that is what is happening from 1 to 2. Opposite to this 1 to 2, after the combustion, after the power stroke, what happens? It is exhaust stroke. What happens in the exhaust stroke? Smoke is formed and the smoke will be given out. Okay, now here what happens? The work will be done on the piston. So what happens? The exhaust stroke, during the hot gases will go out. The hot gases will be going out. That means the volume is increasing. It's okay. So the heat is been rejected. So this is the beauty of Otto cycle. Based on this principle, our petrol engines does works. This is a diesel engine. Now as you can see this, for the diesel engine or a diesel cycle, all the diesel engines, whether it may be a car or it may be a bus or it may be a truck or it may be anything it can be, all these things are working onto the principle of, they are all working under the principle of diesel cycles. Basically diesel is the name of once again it is a scientist who work basically on the diesel cycle. Now here if you can observe this, even here also there are 4 strokes which can be separated over here. Now up to 1, what is happening? The volume is been taken inside, that is the air is been taken here. Now if you can observe this previous figure, the pressure is at the end of compression stroke, it is only up to P2, the height is less. If you see this, the volume, the temperature is more and the pressure is also more over here. Why? Because we are compressing around 20 meter cube, mm cube of fuel into 1 meter cube. The compression ratio is more. That means whenever we compress more and more, the higher the pressure and the higher the temperature will be achieved. So that ends with the compression at point 2. The heat addition takes place here at constant pressure. Now the pressure is going to remain constant. Whereas here you can see the red line, it is a constant volume. It's a constant volume. Now this is in the direction of volume on the x-axis. It is a constant volume. Whereas here it is a constant pressure process. Is it clear? So the heat addition takes place at the constant pressure, whereas the heat addition here in the Otto cycle takes place at constant volume. Is it okay? Now, once again, it comes with uh, the expansion stroke. In this expansion stroke, what happens? It once again expels the work output and gives out the heat to the surrounding. This is what a diesel cycle does work. So that is the working principles of the diesel cycle as well as the Otto cycles. That can be explained beautifully with the PV diagrams. Now I always suggest you along with this the cylinders arrangements, as you can see it here. Along with these 4 sketches, if you can able to write down the PV diagram also, that will fetch you good marks, because evaluator understands that you have understood the concept of the diesel engine and the petrol engine, and that will also helps you to find out or list out the differences between petrol engine and diesel engine. Okay, now let us find out the applications of two-stroke engines. Previously, two-stroke engines are used in racing cars and motorcycles, but recently many countries banned the two-stroke racing cars because that makes a lot of pollution. Because the more chances of mixing the fresh charge with the unburnt gases or maybe with the smoke. That is the reason why they have banned it. Two-stroke engines are used in the boats, in the small boats actually. There are many outboard companies like Yamaha, Suzuki, Mercury is still making two-stroke boats. Earlier, you might remember the Yamaha bikes are very famous because of its sound and as well as its power also. It is only because of these two-stroke. Nowadays, I don't think any of that people are going for the two-stroke. Only rarely one or two, maybe Hamara Bajaj or some one or two vehicles are there. Based on that, they work on the two-stroke engines. Some gardening equipments we use it for the two-stroke engine, like for lawn cuttings, all those things. We just use two-stroke engines. Applications of four-stroke engine: all the passenger cars and buses and other transports, heavy trucks, almost all nowadays they go for four-strokes. Even the bikes also now. Bikes are all converting it to four-strokes. Even the bikes or scooters, we don't have any working on the two-stroke engines. And even the generators, they work under four-stroke engines principle. Performance parameters of IC engines. Performance parameters of an IC engine. The job of an internal combustion engine is to convert heat energy into mechanical energy. Is it clear? So that is what IC engines or internal combustion engine is, only to convert heat into mechanical energy. Practically it means that an IC engine of any type produce mechanical work in the form of rotating shaft, giving some torque at some value of RPM by continuously burning of the fuel. That is the one thing. So basically, performance of IC engines means that how well it complete will it complete the above mentioned jobs is more important. Basically, what happens now? You have a 120 cc, 110 cc, 1200 cc. What does it mean? Cubic centimeter. That means the amount of fluid that can be taken inside the engine cylinder and that can be compressed. Now you might have observed the higher cc vehicles will move faster, will produce more power. It is only because it is taking more fuel. That is the major advantage of that. Okay. Now it can be measured or compared only in terms of certain parameters as mentioned in this chapter. Actually, these parameters are called as a performance parameters. A few parameters, based on that we will decide the power producing or load carrying capacity of any engine. There are n number of vehicles are there. Different vehicles will use an engines. Though it is maybe a same petrol or diesel engines, their capacity will be different. Their capacity will be analyzed or studied based on the performance parameters. These performance parameters will decide the ability or the quality or the load carrying capacity of any IC engines. Okay. In the next class we shall talk about a few of these performance parameters in detail.